Now at 9, a need across Delaware County. Why the shortage of caregivers for foster children?
Information about lung cancer screenings where you can get them all year round.
A complaint was filed with the state licensing board against an Indiana doctor today. We have the details.
A panel decided the fate of 5 members of the Oath Keepers, what the ruling entails.
We saw those high winds today. I'll tell you when we can expect that coming up.
Delaware County's only live television newscast from Ball State University's Unified Media Newsroom. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Evening, and thanks for being with us. I'm Rebecca Rosado.
And I'm Janice English.
The Muncie community is being called to action. There's a need for foster parents in Muncie and surrounding areas. Catherine Segal talked to a foster licensing specialist to learn more. Catherine, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Rebecca, I talked with Ashley Heath, a foster home licensing specialist at Seeds of Life, to find out why there is a foster parent shortage. Heath said Indiana is experiencing a skyrocketing amount of parents who are addicted to some sort of substance. This high rate of substance abuse is one of the reasons for instability in the foster care system. In Muncie, Heath said there are 173 children in need of services. 71% of those kids are placed in either relative care or foster care. Heath said for the size of Muncie, it is impactful how many kids are in the foster care system right now.
Now, especially in Delaware County, there's a huge opioid crisis, and that means that a lot more children are coming into the system, and there's not homes to fit those children.
Seeds of Life expanded its location to cover Madison and Delaware County after, quote, knowing there is a need and seeing that that need was not being met. He said there have been a lot of issues with recruitment. They started licensing in August and have 2 parents that are licensing right now. Even though there are a lot of people showing interest, not many are following through. He said they are trying to get the word out so that more kids can be placed.
We really are desperate for people who are interested, so if people have ever thought about being a foster parent, now is really the time that we need you.
If you are interested in being a foster parent, you can reach out to Seeds of Life at seedsoiflehomebase.com.
Thanks, Catherine. Today is the last day of Lung Cancer Awareness Month, and IU Health is making sure you know they have a lung cancer screening program open all year long. East Central Indiana, one of the highest smoking rates in the state and program, has provided over 2,000 screenings and have been successful in diagnosing over 56 lung cancer cases. This is a self-referred small dose CT scan for anyone who is the highest risk of lung cancer. IU Health is moved to this program to IU Health Blackford Hospital in hopes of making it more easier and comfortable for communities to travel. Becky Butts, Coordinator of Community Education for IU Health, wants you to know there's a huge population they want to reach.
What we found is that less than 10% of people who are eligible for lung cancer screenings are getting them done. So we're missing a huge population, and hopefully this will help eliminate some of that.
If you are interested in screening, you can call 765-751-2727 for more information.
And you know, it has been an extremely cold day today. It was just 60 degrees like yesterday.
And super windy.
It has, so I wonder if this is going to continue. Let's take it over to Jack with weather.
Yeah, we are going to be seeing those colder temperatures stick around and that wind. But looking at our current temperatures right now, we'll be at a cool 28 degrees here in Muncie, 27 in Indianapolis, and 30 degrees in Terre Haute. Now, speaking of that wind, they were quite strong. Those gusts around the area. Fort Wayne actually had the highest gust at 47 miles an hour. But down here in Muncie, we had a gust of 38 miles an hour, and I definitely felt it on my way to class today. So what I'm tracking in my show ahead is the return of the wind. We'll be seeing that this weekend, a quiet Thursday, and then we do have some rain for the weekend. I'll have that and more in my full forecast.
Thank you, Jack. In Indiana, the Attorney General wants a doctor disciplined for performing an abortion on a 10-year-old rape victim from Ohio. Todd Rakita filed a complaint with the state licensing board against Dr. Caitlin Bernard today. He says Bernard violated the girl's privacy when she talked about the case to the media shortly after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade last June. Rakita also says Bernard did not immediately report the sexual assault to Indiana authorities, and that violates state law. Her lawyer denies she did anything wrong and says the Attorney General's action is in an effort to intimidate her and other abortion providers in the state. Bernard practices in Indianapolis.
Nationwide, the U.S. House of Representatives has voted for a freight rail strike that could cripple the shipping industry. If the House passes the bill goes to the Senate, which will have to work fast before the tentative strike date of December 9th. CNN Mike Valerio has the latest on Capitol Hill.
The president made it pretty clear the repercussions, the ramifications for the country and for workers across the country if we don't get this done, if there is a strike.
The House of Representatives approved legislation in a two-part vote Wednesday to block more than 100,000 rail workers from walking off the job next week. The bill is now in the hands of senators who need to pass it before a strike set for December 9th. For months, there's been a stalemate between the workers' unions and the railroads, reporting record profits last year, with one strike averted in September after a tentative agreement was reached.
Once the members looked at it, some of the unions ratified it. They said this is enough, but a lot of union members felt, particularly in the wake of the pandemic, that paid sick leave was something that they had to have.
President Joe Biden asked top leaders in Congress to get involved this week after previously being reluctant to step into the fight. But ultimately, he decided the economic upheaval a strike would cause couldn't be ignored. Business groups fear a freight rail strike would lead to widespread shortages of food and goods, to prices spiking and commuter train interruptions. One economic group estimates it would cost the U.S. economy $1 billion in just the first week. Unions say walking off the job is a last resort, but one they're willing to take so rail workers can get their demands met.
They work really hard, very dangerous jobs. Many of them work outside, exposed to the elements, to chemicals, musculoskeletal injury, and they need paid sick leave.
The House Ways and Means Committee received 6 years of Donald Trump's federal tax returns today.
The Treasury Department confirms that it has complied with a court-approved order to release the returns after the Supreme Court refused to stop it last week. Congressman Richard Neal, chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, says Democrats will meet as a caucus to discuss next steps. House members will decide how to proceed with the tax returns for both the former president as well as his corporate entities. Trump has waged a battle for years to keep the returns private. It's not expected that any of the information will be immediately released to the general public.
A jury has found Oath Keepers leader Stuart Rhodes guilty of seditious conspiracy. The panel decided the fate of 5 members of the far-right militia group for their role in the Capitol insurrection on January 6, 2021. Kelly Meggs also convicted seditious conspiracies. The other 3 defendants were acquitted of the charge. Meanwhile, all 5 defendants were found guilty of obstructing the official proceeding. The defendants in this case faced a range of charges including destruction of government property, civil disorder, and tampering with documents. The Justice Department charged about 50 people in some form of conspiracy related to the insurrection.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention announced earlier today that it was awarding $3.2 billion in grants to public health. The agency says the money will touch services available to everyone in the U.S. The vast majority of the money, $3 billion of it, comes from the American Rescue Plan Act. That money will be used to recruit and train people like epidemiologists, contract tracers, and community health workers. According to the CDC, the grants will help state and local departments that were stressed by COVID-19. And coming up, new data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, what this means for job searchers.
Plus, musical artist Bad Bunny broke a record for the 3rd time in a row. Find out which one next.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, MITS will take you there.
So I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Job seekers didn't have as many positions to pursue last month, but the U.S. labor market is still historically tight. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, there were 10.3 million openings in October. That's down 10.7 million jobs that were available in September. Among the areas seeing less openings, state and local government, and non-durable goods manufacturing. The Federal Reserve is still focused on bringing down inflation, and the tightness in the labor market does the opposite.
Yet, tech layoffs are mounting as DoorDash lets go around 1,200 employees. The delivery app CEO Tony Xu sent in a memo to employees today that he said the team grew too quickly during the pandemic. Xu said this was the most difficult change he has had to announce in their almost 10-year history. He went on to say that most of their investments are paying off, but were not as rigorous as they should have been in managing team growth. The cuts represent about 6% of its staff. These layoffs come up with looming recession fear and rising inflation.
In your entertainment news, Bad Bunny Algo No Malo was Spotify's most streamed artist worldwide for a third year in a row. The Puerto Rican singer's tracks generated more than 18.5 billion streams so far this year. His smash hit album Un Verano Sin Ti was also nominated for an Album of the Year at the upcoming Grammys. Now here in the U.S., Drake was the most streamed artist, and Kanye West, who had been widely critiqued for his anti-Semitic comments, was also made in the top 5.
Fleetwood Mac's Christy McVie has died at age 79. Her family says she passed away peacefully in the company of family at the hospital today after a brief illness. The singer-songwriter was behind some Fleetwood Mac's biggest hit. The band issued a statement saying she was the best musician anyone could have in their band and the best friend anyone could have in their life.
And now we're going to toss it over to Weather with Jack.
Yeah, as you can see, we're much colder than we are right now because of those winds. I'll have that and more, and I can tell you when that warm-up will be after the break.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid
knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Emotes say a lot, but they can't say it all. Think your guildmate is struggling? Try these dialogue options. Go beyond emotes. Check in with your guildmates at seizetheawkward.org.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Welcome back. The time now is 9:14, and you're taking a live look at the Foundational Science Building. It looks pretty nice out there, but let's take it over to weather to see if it's actually nice out there.
Well, looks are going to be a little deceiving because it is quite cool out there right now. So if we take a step outside here at Ball State, it'll be 28 degrees. However, if you factor in those west winds at 17 miles an hour, it's actually going to feel like 16 degrees. with that wind chill, and that was kind of the main story today with those winds as well. Looking at our almanac, this is kind of interesting. Our high today was actually 60 degrees. We hit that at 1 in the morning. It was right before the cold front came through around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and knocked those temperatures down and also ushered in those winds as well. And we were actually quite warm for this time of year as well, as our average is only 46. Obviously, we weren't going to shatter any records anyways as well. So our current wind chill right now, we're going to be 16 degrees here in Muncie. So this is, again, going to be that feel-like temperature. 16 here in Muncie, and the cold spot is actually going to be Kokomo at 12 degrees. So if you are wanting to head out tonight, make sure you have that hat and scarf because you're going to need it because it's going to feel like it as well. And this is this 24-hour temperature change. Actually, kind of crazy. We are 32 degrees colder than we were 24 hours ago. And it's all due to that cold front that came through last night as well. So for your forecast tonight, we're going to have a low of 19 degrees, be mostly clear conditions with those winds out of the west, 15 miles an hour, gusting up to 30 miles an hour. Now, it'll be kind of nice because tomorrow we're actually going to see a nice break. We're going to have some high pressure move in, and really we're going to have a calm day tomorrow, which is going to be very nice. As you can see, wind's going to be around 5 miles an hour all day. We're going to start out at 8 in the morning at 22 degrees, warm up to 38 degrees by 5 p.m. If you don't have anything going on tomorrow, from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, we're going to have the light up downtown over on Walnut Street. It'll be a good time. We're going to light the tree. Santa Claus is going to be there, so that'll be a good time. Might as well get a cup of joe as well. It'll be a good time for all. So your forecast for that will be 32 degrees, mostly clear conditions with that south wind not really playing that big of a factor. However, we are going to see those winds return for the weekend as well. So Friday, 9 o'clock in the morning, actually, so we're already going to be seeing those high wind gusts when you start off your day on Friday. And as I put this in motion, Friday night, look at this, almost 39 degrees in 39 miles an hour in Winchester, almost 40 mile an hour wind gusts. So you do want to take that into account if you're making any Friday night plans as well. And as you can see, winds will continue on through Saturday, should be dying off early Sunday morning as well. Now looking at your 7-day forecast, you can see with those winds for the weekend, we are going to also be ushering in some weather. We're going to be getting some rain showers throughout the weekend, and all eyes actually are going to be on Tuesday with a chance of mixed precipitation as well. I'm actually decently excited. We're going to get a little break from the wind because walking to class today was not fun at all.
Oh, it was absolutely horrible. You know, I went to the gym today and I forgot my ID. I had to walk all the way
Yeah.
back and back and back. The wind
Terrible.
about took me out.
Oh, yeah.
It took me out. How was it for you today?
I left my coat at home, so
Oh,
I
nice.
was just
Oh
That's
my
good.
gosh. I'm surprised you didn't get
That's good.
frostbite. Oh my gosh.
My face was red, like windburn. Seriously,
Oh,
terrible.
wow.
I had to like
You know,
plant myself to walk.
But according to your forecast, it's
Yeah.
supposed to lighten up, which I think will be great. We're going into the weekend, and for a lot of us who are traveling, whatnot,
Yeah.
Christmas shopping, I
Absolutely.
think that kind of better temperature is going to be better. So thank you so much, Jack.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. And now we're going to take it over with Jake with sports.
Thanks, guys. One Ball State program gearing up for some postseason action, and some Cardinals named to all conference teams. All that and more next in sports.
Here's your sandwich, miss.
Oh, thank you.
And your burger.
Awesome, thank you.
And your bowl of boiling water, sir.
After retiring from the NFL, I've been able to spend a lot more time coaching my daughter's basketball teams. It's something I love to do. Through our games and our tournaments, we see all types of coaching, good and bad. And it begs the question, do we really know who's coaching our kids? Do they have the proper training and screening it would take for me to be comfortable with my daughters playing for that coach? Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to screen and train all of our coaches. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
So if one cat has 4 kittens who reproduce every 6 months, how many cats will there be in 5 years? Who's got it? Is this... What is that? Seriously? Who threw that?
Cats are terrible at math, but they sure do multiply. Please spay, neuter, and adopt.
The solution is 10.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Jake Garcia with sports. The Ball State women's volleyball program is going dancing. NewsLink Indiana's Andy Newman sits down with the squad to get their thoughts on their selection and their mentality as they continue their postseason run.
A memory that will last a lifetime. Ball State women's volleyball is headed to the NCAA tournament for the 3rd time in 4 years.
Seeing our name on the board, it was one of the best feelings I've ever had. It was so exciting. We're really excited.
It's awesome, especially since we didn't get that automatic qualifier for the MAC tournament. Being able to still get an opportunity to go and play in the NCAA is big.
After 5 straight losses early in the season, the Cardinals came soaring back into the playoff hunt with 15 wins in their last 16 regular season games, as well as a co-MAC regular season championship and hosting rights to the MAC tournament. But the Cardinals unable to keep the momentum rolling, losing in the MAC tournament championship to Bowling Green just last week. Plitt feels that the gut-wrenching loss is a big inspiration as they move forward.
It's definitely a motivating factor. We didn't play as well as we wanted, but there's a lot that we have to go prove and just go show it all out there.
Head coach Kelly Miller-Phillips knows her squad is motivated and is proud of her group.
Super proud. I mean, I think this is a great group. They have earned it. The senior class has done so much for the program, and I'm really glad they could be rewarded and that we can keep playing together. I mean, above all, that's what I had told them on Sunday. Just we get to keep doing it together, and that's a pretty special thing.
As the matchup draws closer, Snyder and Plitt want to prove the doubters wrong and play their absolute best.
We just want to show why we were selected. I think that's big because a lot of people are like, why Ball State? Why did they get selected, you know? So I think just going in and showing that we can play with the best. I think we can do it as long as we play Ball State volleyball and play like we know we can play. I think we'll have a good, solid chance.
Kind of just leaving it all out there on the court. We're trying to play our best volleyball at the end of the season, so going out and giving it all we have.
Ball State will face off with 4-seeded Marquette tomorrow night at 8 in Milwaukee as they look to keep their season alive once again. In Muncie, Andy Newman, NewsLink, Indiana.
With one Ball State program in the postseason, the Ball State football program picks up some all-conference honors. The Cardinals able to have 8 players selected to the All-Mid-American Conference teams. First-team honors include running back Carson Steele and tight end Brady Hunt. Second team includes linebacker Clayton Cole, offensive lineman Ethan Crow, wide receiver Jay Sean Jackson, and defensive backs Nick Jones and Amechi Uzadima. And finally, wrapping out all-MAC third team for Ball State is defensive back Jordan Riley. And as one team finished their season, another Ball State program looks to capitalize on their early success. Both Ball State swim and dive programs travel to Oxford, Ohio for the Miami Invitational. The men's and women's teams have not competed in an event in nearly 3 weeks. The men's team come into the event with an overall record of 1-1, while the Lady Cardinals come into the matchup 2-2 on the year. The 3-day meet will begin tomorrow morning with preliminary action taking place at 9 a.m. And guys, we got to wish luck to the Ball State women's volleyball team as they look to go shock the world out there versus Marquette.
Oh, absolutely. We are turning into a volleyball school, and I'm all here for it. Thank you, Jake. And after the break, we'll have your campus coverage.
And a final look at the weather, so stay with us.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you.
Hi.
Can you help me?
I got it.
Thank you.
No problem.
Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared, so start now.
Right now?
Right now. You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. My name is Chandler Whitted, and this is your campus coverage. Thanksgiving break might have passed, but the Residence Hall Association is just getting started. Today, the RHA hosted the Johnson Jamboree to celebrate the start of the holiday season. Tonight's Jamboree was located at the Schmidt Wilson Hall. The event was filled with spectacular activities like bingo, movies, and best of all, free food. We talked with students for their thoughts on the festivities.
The events here on campus are amazing. So I came here, and the first thing they did was greet me with some delicious cheesecake. And I went and sat down and I started doing some word puzzles.
The RHA is far from done when it comes to celebrating. Check out their Instagram to keep up with exciting events in the future.
Now, Chandler, I used to actually be an RA, and so having those events like that just warms my heart, so thank you. And before we go, I would like to take a second to say goodbye. This is my last NewsLink Indiana show as I graduate in 2 weeks. How crazy is that? I came into NewsLink Indiana eager but scared, and I am leaving fulfilled and so proud. I am thankful for the support and the opportunities that NewsLink has given me. I have not only grown as a reporter, anchor, and journalist, but as a person as well. I want to say some thank yous. First of all, I wanted to thank Dr. Gabriel Tate and the 2021 executive team of NewsLink Indiana in helping with my debut as the first ever multicultural reporter in NewsLink Indiana history. I cannot wait to see where this position is going to go to, and I can't wait to see it grow. Lastly, I want to thank my mom, my dad, and my sisters for the endless support over the last 3.5 years, and my friends are in studio, so thank you for coming. I appreciate that. And with that being said, I'd like to announce that I will be headed to Cincinnati to produce for Fox 19. So thank you, viewers at home, and thank you, NewsLink Indiana. I would not be here without you. So with that being said, I want to toss it over to Weather for one last look with my dear friend Jack. And did that wind mess up your hair today?
Every day is a bad hair day for me. However, so tomorrow actually we're going to be quite clear. We do have the winds coming back for Friday and Saturday, also bringing with it some chances of rain as well. And as we look to the start of next week, it's going to be rainy, and we do have a chance again for some mixed precipitation, but we also are going to see a return to normal temperatures as well. So we have that to look forward to as the next week starts.
Well, I am so glad that your hair didn't get messed up, but I also want to say one last thank you to my co-anchor. Tonight was her first time on the desk, and I think she did absolutely amazing. So thank you for being here for my last show. You did great.
Thank you. Working with you made it seem so easy. I was nervous, but I'm glad I did it.
Well, thank you. And that's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news, anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night.
Good night. Thank you.